I never expected my marriage to end in a whisper. I always imagined if things went south, it'd be a storm. A shouting match, broken dishes, maybe even slammed doors and threats we'd never mean. But no. My wife Claire ended our 10 years together with 5 quiet words over lukewarm coffee on a Monday morning. Maybe we should take a break. That's how it started. We were sitting in our sunlit kitchen, the one we had remodeled together just a year ago. She stirred her cup absent-mindedly, her manicured fingers gliding around the rim, eyes not on me, but on the bay window behind me. The spring morning outside was a liar, calm, gentle, full of birdsong. Inside, something splintered. A break from what? I asked, not understanding at first. From us. I think we're both a little lost, she said, finally meeting my eyes. Hers were calm, rehearsed, void of the warmth I used to see. Claire always had a way of making treachery sound like therapy. She made me think maybe I was the problem. Maybe I had stopped paying attention. Maybe I was too focused on work. Maybe I wasn't affectionate enough. Maybe I didn't notice she'd stopped saying, "I love you," at night. But I noticed. I noticed everything. I noticed the new lingerie that didn't match any of the sets I'd seen. I noticed her phone face, down all the time. Her late-night trips to the grocery store. The laughter that didn't quite reach her eyes when I cracked a joke. I noticed how her girls' nights had become girls' weekends. And then this. Now a girls' trip to Miami. I just need time, she said. Space to think. Some fun with the girls. You know. Clear my head. I stared at her across the table, the woman I had loved for over a decade. The woman I bought a house with. The woman who once cried when I made her pancakes in bed after a miscarriage. Now she needed a break. Not a divorce. Just a pause. Like a commercial break in the middle of a good show. So, I nodded. Smiled, even. Take all the space you need, I said. She leaned over the table, kissed my cheek, and walked upstairs to pack her bags. What she didn't know was that I already had her laptop cloned. Her iCloud mirrored. Her email and text messages syncing to an old iPad in my office drawer. I hadn't confronted her yet because I needed to be sure. Claire was clever, and if I accused her too early, she'd twist it into paranoia. But now I had reason. That evening, after she left, I sat in the dark in my study, the glow of the screen lighting my face. My heart ached, but my mind was locked in, focused. I clicked through her messages. Instagram DMs with her, girls. Text to someone saved as Ulrika N., who, by the look of the language, wasn't a girl at all. The first real punch came when I saw a confirmation email from a massage spa in Miami. 2 appointments. One in her name. The other in the name of a man. His name was Dylan Kane. A quick search through her photos, deleted but recovered, showed selfies of her and Dylan, half-dressed on a hotel balcony from a previous trip she claimed was just work. But that wasn't the worst of it. What chilled me was her search history from the night before.
Oi.
How much life insurance pays out if spouse dies?
Oi.
Can life insurance refuse payout if death is accidental? Well, how to change beneficiary on term life policy without spouse knowing? My hands trembled. I didn't want to believe it. But there it was. She wasn't just cheating. She was planning something darker. Something permanent. And I wasn't going to confront her. No, that would be too easy. Too satisfying for her. Claire loved control. She loved chaos as long as she was the center of it. No, I would take that control back. By Tuesday morning, Claire was poolside at the Fontainebleau, tagging fake friends in Instagram stories, sipping on something with a neon umbrella, while the man she thought she'd outsmarted was back in our home rewriting the story. She had no idea I had already changed the locks. The new deadbolts went in within hours of her flight leaving the tarmac. I had the security system reset, passwords updated, facial recognition removed, and her access revoked. Claire may have planned her trip, but I was planning the ending. Next, I called our financial advisor. Hi Bill. I need to temporarily freeze the joint account. Security reasons. Just until Claire returns. No, nothing serious. Just being careful with all the travel fraud going on. Bill didn't ask questions. I didn't offer answers. After that, I called the insurance company. My voice was steady as I said, I want to remove my wife as beneficiary from all life insurance policies effective immediately. There was a pause. Sir, is there a reason you're doing this? Just a precaution. I said. You can never be too careful? I changed everything. Bank accounts, credit cards, retirement login, car title access, even the Netflix password. I was methodical, cold, exact. Every thread of the life she depended on I clipped. I wasn't done. I dug deeper. Hired a private investigator named Mac, retired cop, no bullshit. Within 36 hours he delivered more than I could digest in one sitting. Dylan Kane was real, divorced twice, and currently bankrupt and carrying a quiet criminal record. Claire had been seeing him for over 6 months. Hotel receipts, gas station meet-ups, one Airbnb they had rented under an alias, which she paid for using my card. There were photos too. Grainy but clear enough. Claire wrapped in a towel, laughing with Dylan as they shared wine in the rental's kitchen. The investigator had even managed to pull voice notes they exchanged through a messaging app. I played one aloud. He's getting too suspicious. I wish I could just move on. Be done with him. You know, I've checked. The insurance would set me up for life. It's not like he doesn't deserve it. My blood froze. There it was. The dagger. She wasn't just bored. She wasn't just cheating. She was fantasizing about my death like it was a vacation package. By Thursday, I had drafted the email. It wasn't emotional. It wasn't loud. It was a surgical strike, attaching everything I had: screenshots, videos, call logs, the voice note, receipts. The subject line: for when you come home. No threats. No accusations. Just a final statement at the bottom. Don't call. Don't come back. Don't test me. I timed it to send 5 minutes after her flight landed on Sunday. Just enough time for her to connect to Wi-Fi. That weekend, I played my part. I posted a photo of myself grilling in the backyard, a cold beer in hand, smiling like the world hadn't collapsed around me. Mutual friends liked it. Some commented, "You guys are goals!" I smiled at the irony. I even sent her a casual, "Hope you're enjoying the sun" text just to keep her guard down. She replied with a selfie. Bikini cocktail, fake bliss. What she didn't know was that everything she had built with me was already ash. On Sunday night, the flight from Miami landed at 6:07 p.m. At 6:12 p.m., the email hit her inbox. My phone remained silent, but I imagined the moment she opened it. I imagined her smile fading, her gut churning, her world unraveling as she scrolled through her own lies. Compiled and time-stamped with brutal precision, she came back on a Sunday evening, the same way she left, entitled and unaware. The black SUV dropped her off at the curb. She was wearing oversized sunglasses, hair in a lazy bun, wheeling a 900 suitcase she never used before this trip. She didn't look like someone who had just betrayed her husband and conspired to profit from his death. She looked bored. Tired. Like she'd spent too much time under the sun, not under a man. Claire dragged her luggage toward the porch, then paused. It was all there. Her boxes, neat, taped, labeled in black Sharpie. Shoes. Winter coats. Makeup. Miscellaneous crap. And above all, one envelope on top of the boxes. Her name in my handwriting. I was watching from the window. Just out of sight. Not because I wanted to see her pain, but because I wanted to make sure it was real. That this wasn't a dream. That I wasn't the crazy one. She picked up the envelope. Opened it. Inside, a printed copy of the email. The same one I had sent her. Beneath it, her credit card statement. Her massage appointment receipt. A photo of her and Dylan. Her head resting on his chest, smiling the kind of smile I hadn't seen in years. And lastly, a post-it note. This is who you are now. Not my wife. Not welcome. She stood there, frozen. Then tried the door. Locked. She pulled out her phone. I watched her scroll. Saw the moment her screen lit up with the truth. Accounts closed. Apps logged out. Her digital life erased like she never existed in this house. Then she called. I didn't answer. She banged on the door next. Soft at first, then hard. Screaming my name. Neighbors peeked from windows. I waited until her voice broke into a hoarse plea. Until the panic hit. She was realizing it wasn't just a punishment. It was exile. I finally opened the door. But only enough to let her see my face. She looked like hell. Let me in, she said, mascara streaking. Please. Just let me talk to you. I can explain. No, I said. You already explained. Everything was just in my head. I wasn't going to do anything. Dylan was nothing. I was confused. I was hurt. You researched my life insurance policy, Claire. You made appointments for 2. You lied to my face. You thought about what your life would look like without me in it, and now you get to find out. Tears. The kind that used to melt me. Not this time. You can't do this to me, she snapped. This is still my home? No, it's not. Not anymore, she screamed, swore, called me every name she could reach for, then tried guilt, begging, even laughter. I closed the door. Behind it I heard her fall to her knees. I left her there. That night, I had the locks changed again, just in case she'd made a copy. Then I filed the official separation papers and made sure the restraining order was ready to go if needed. She spent the next few days couch surfing with her girls, most of whom had mysteriously stopped replying. It's amazing how quickly loyalty dries up when there's no money, no influence, and no power left to offer. I heard through a mutual friend that Dylan ghosted her within 24 hours of the fallout. Blocked her on everything. Probably sensed the ship was sinking. She tried calling my sister next. Then my mom. She told them I was abusive, that I'd lost it, that I was the one who broke her down emotionally. So I sent them the email too. All of it. She called again. This time, just left a message. You ruined my life. I smiled. No, she ruined her life. I just made sure she couldn't lie her way out of it. A month passed. Claire didn't just fall from grace, she plummeted. Word had spread quickly. Our town wasn't big. People whispered. They always do. Her co-workers started keeping their distance. Our mutual friends stopped inviting her. Even her closest allies were too afraid to publicly take sides. No one wanted to be associated with a woman who not only cheated on her husband, but had also looked up the legal logistics of collecting on his death. The kicker, the only person who would have had to die for her to cash in, was me. She tried getting a lawyer. I already had the best one in town. The same one who'd known my family for years. Claire was laughed out of 2 firms before she found someone desperate enough to take her retainer check, only to have it bounce. Turns out, her access to our joint funds wasn't just suspended. It was closed, reallocated. She didn't own the house. Her name was off every deed, every account. Even the car she drove, leased under my name, repossessed 2 weeks after her return. She had nothing left. But she wasn't done yet. One evening, I got a knock on the door. Not a pounding. Just a knock, soft, defeated. It was her. She was wearing the same hoodie she left in 3 months ago, makeup smudged, eyes red. I have nowhere else to go, she whispered. He left. I can't pay rent. No one will talk to me. You made sure of that. You did this to yourself, I replied. I made a mistake. Okay, a big one. But I didn't actually do anything. I didn't kill you. I didn't even touch the money. No, I said. You just planned to? That's enough. She paused, eyes narrowing. You still love me, don't you? That was when I laughed. The coldest sound I think I've ever made. Claire, I don't even recognize you. She stepped forward, one shaky foot past the threshold. I'm sorry, she said. I really am. I was angry, confused. You were greedy. You were cruel. I was lost. No, I said, voice dropping. You were found out. I handed her an envelope. She opened it. Inside the final divorce papers. No spousal support. No assets. No claim to the house. No claim to the car. Nothing. You won't get away with this, she snapped. I already did. The next day, I had security footage of her attempt to break in forwarded to the police. She tried prying the back door open with a crowbar. She was arrested. Trespassing. Vandalism. Violation of a pending restraining order. Mugshot. Fingerprints. A record. A fitting end for a woman who once Googled how much I'd be worth dead. I moved on. Quietly. Cleanly. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I just lived. Peacefully. And that, I realized, was the real revenge. She was left with nothing but whispers, memories, and the face of every person who now saw her for who she really was. I got a letter last week. No return address. Just a folded piece of paper inside, and 4 words scrawled across it in a shaky hand. You really destroyed me. I folded it, tossed it in the fireplace, and watched it burn.